Okay, I want you to do some Fakie Pops off of the coping. But the thing I want you to feel is how the board reacts to different ways that you throw it at the coping. So we can put a lot of pressure in our back foot and actually jam the board into the coping. And that's gonna do something different than if we're floating off of the board and kind of just let it run into the coping and follow our feet up. So I'm gonna shove my foot into the coping. And you can see just from that motion, the shape the board takes is a bit different. It goes out and then up. Okay, that's gonna be great for some things, but I wanna make sure that you can do that and the neutral pop one, where you're not actually shoving your board into the coping, you're just jumping off of it. If you can do the one where you're just jumping off of it, that will translate a lot better to spinning, and that'll translate a lot better to like very feely touch tricks like no grab half cab, or you want to land in Fakie Smith, things like that. But shoving your board into it is actually great, because you're going to get a lot of pressure from the board up against your feet. So if you want to do like a Fakie board slide and you're going wicked fast, yeah, throw your wheels into the coping and you'll feel that board lock up against your feet, and then now you can push it into the coping pretty easy. Where if you just float off of the board, you might end up in a super floaty position, and that's just not what you want for that specific one. This section isn't so much that I want you to be landing Fakie Pops or Fakie rocks or board slides like every time, but I want you to know that there are multiple ways to get those wheels to touch the coping, and different things are gonna happen. The mistakes that I want my students to make are the ones that have very big differences between one try and the next. Do one thing, push that board out into the coping, and then do the complete opposite on the next one, where you're actually jumping and floating away. I want you to feel the difference, but I want someone who doesn't know what's going on to be able to notice that what you did on those two were very different. Should be obvious on film. Because if it's obvious on film, the feeling of it is like so dramatically different that you're definitely feeling the two polar opposites, okay? Shouldn't be like, oh, I sort of felt this one and that one. It's like, it should be obvious to everyone and their mom the difference between the two Fakie Pops. So go try and get comfortable and get used to how the board reacts in a bunch of different ways.